Good day and welcome to the channel. My name is Jared Royce and this is RedRacer Video, and today I'm bringing you a 2017 Ford Raptor.
My dear, my dear, my dear, my dear, I want you here. Don't get too near, for there's lions beware.
Alright everybody, before we get into it, I want to take a quick second and thank the good folks at Hackey Motors in Layton, Utah. If you guys are looking for anything, and I'm not just talking about local, anybody in the United States, anybody anywhere, Hackey Motors is specialty. They are not like your average used car dealership. They actually don't just have used, because he buys a lot of stuff, gets on a lot of waiting lists, and gets cars when they're brand new. So you can buy stuff with like 50 to 500 miles on them. Stuff that's pretty hard to get your hands on. Stuff like this Ford Raptor. He's got an NSX, a brand new one. It's only got 400 or 500 miles on. He's got a Fisker in his lot. He's got Chevelle SS's, an old Boss 302. He's got a Challenger, a 1970 Challenger he's trying to sell. It's like 250 grand. One of the most rare cars you can find. A super, super collectible car. So Hackey Motors, check them out. Amazing people, amazing inventory. www.hackeymotors.com. Go check them out. So getting into it, 2017 Ford Raptor. For those of you who aren't familiar, 450 horsepower and 510 foot-pounds of torque. And that power is being brought to you by way of a twin-turbo EcoBoost V6 engine. I have been making fun of Ford ever since they brought that engine out and saying that they wouldn't hold up and saying that people were crazy to buy them and yada, yada, yada. And I have been eating crow ever since I started saying that. Because from what I can gather and from all the people I talk to, these trucks are amazing. And the power just keeps going up and they just keep holding it and keep putting it down. This truck is rad. I mean, I'm already in love with it just by sitting in it and pressing a couple buttons. It looks absolutely menacing. I mean, it looks every bit as mean as it is. The only thing you're missing is a good exhaust note. I mean, it's hard to make a twin turbo V6 sound cool, and I guess it sounds okay for what it is, but I mean, aside from the exhaust note, there's not a lot I could really complain about so far. I've said it before, and I've probably said it in this video about 4 times, but I am a Chevy guy. I've always been a Chevy guy. I've just kind of always been a Chevy homer. And aside from the price tag on this truck, because they're steep, I mean, I think these retail for like 70 G's, and from what I can gather, most dealerships are charging a market adjustment of like 10 grand because you just can't get them. So 70 to 80 grand is what you're going to spend on one of these trucks, and that's probably about the only thing that you'll catch me complaining about in the truck is just the sheer expense of it. So one of the things that I'm noticing almost right out of the gate in the short period of time that I've been in this truck is the truck already makes a lot of power. 450 horse and 500 foot-pounds of torque, or 510 foot-pounds of torque in a F-150. That's a lot of power. I mean, this one's beefy, it's heavy, it's got a lot of off-road stuff. I'm sure this thing's got a decent curb weight, but the 10-speed automatic in this truck virtually eliminates any turbo lag that you would have. And not only that, the thing that's been most impressive so far is every scenario I've been in, whether it just be, you know, turning at a corner or going through a roundabout and then turning out of it, or downshifting on the freeway, just any scenario that I'm in, I haven't driven a ton of dual clutches, but this thing operates so quickly. You put your foot in it to a certain point, and this truck is incredibly good at knowing exactly what gear to go in and how much acceleration you're asking for. It's not once yet downshifted into a gear and then been like, oh man, one more gear, and gone down like a traditional automatic sometimes will do. It's never done that. Never at any point has it done that. Every single time I've asked this thing to downshift and go, it has nailed it. It's gone to the exact gear, it's been in the power, and it's gone. This thing is a rocket ship for a probably 6,000 pound truck or something like that. I'm blown away. I truly am. I've probably said that now a couple of different times throughout the video, but this truck is rad. Color me impressed, I guess is the phrase that I would use. For somebody that's got plenty of money and doesn't have to question it, this truck is absolutely phenomenal. It is a little squishy. You don't really feel it, you know, in around town driving or anything like that. But at higher speeds or freeway speeds, when you hit a good bump or you come over like an overpass on the freeway or something, you definitely feel it kind of jump up and squat down, and there's some pretty good squish to it, which you would expect. know, this truck's designed to run Baja type stuff, and it's designed to absorb big bumps, and that's, you know, that's what it's designed to do. So for somebody like me who's not really into that kind of stuff as much, or wouldn't maybe use it for that, it's probably a little softer than I would want it. But I wouldn't say that you know, makes it, you know, bad in any way, shape, or form. It's a purpose-built truck, and that is this truck's purpose. On the infotainment side of stuff, everything in the truck is incredible. I do feel like the center console area between the RPMs and the speedometer is a little busy maybe. There's a lot of different menus. You've got 6 menus plus a settings menu. No, sorry, 5 menus plus a settings menu. So there's a lot going on there, and it kind of gives you a lot to pull up on the screen. I think with a little more time, that wouldn't be a big deal at all, and I think I would be just fine operating that, and I'm sure be a lot better at it than what I am right now. It's just awesome. The steering wheel layout is great. You can switch between your drive modes right here. You can switch between the steering stiffness right here. You can mute the radio. You've got your phone controls, volume, cruise control, all your normal stuff. And then you've got the buttons to go through your menus. So it really is super, super easy to use. It does have auto start and stop. I will say one thing about that. The auto start and stop, I get why they do it. They do it for fuel economy. They do it so that you're not sitting and burning up fuel, and they're trying to do what they can to get their CAFE ratings up. But you feel it. It's not a smooth disengage and engage at all. I mean, it feels like it shuts off and then starts again. In a lot of the cars, they've done a really good job of isolating that vibration to where you don't run into that or you don't feel that. And that would maybe be another knock that I would say, is that the auto start and stop is, I mean, it's I don't know, I don't want to call it janky, but it doesn't feel good. And then when you go to take off, it's pretty good about starting up real quick, and you're not like waiting for it to start. But I don't know, that's not my favorite feature. There's a button on the dash to disable it right here above your infotainment screen, in the middle, in the center console or the center display. So I just shut it off, and I've been a lot happier not having it on. So but it's incredible. The infotainment system itself is very easy to use. You've got big icons down the bottom of the screen where you can press audio, climate, phone navigation, go to your apps, go to your settings. That was super easy to do. I had my phone paired up in like 10 seconds. It was literally that fast. I mean, it went quick, it was easy. It's just been really easy to use. One of the things I love is you still have a hard volume knob, you still have a hard tune knob, so you don't have to worry about that. It's not like you're fumbling through a screen trying to get your screens you want to use. The climate control still has their own buttons down on the bottom, and they're still hard buttons. I love that. That's one of the things I knocked the Civic for in my last review, is that you've got to press 4 or 5 buttons, it seems like, before you're in a spot where you can actually control stuff. In this truck, you don't have that. It's very, very easy to use. They've still kind of kept it where I think they're going to please the people who are real tech savvy and want all the gadgets, but they didn't make it so complicated that they're going to scare some of the people away that maybe aren't as tech savvy and don't want all that stuff. I love the tailgate. The tailgate auto opens. I'll show you that feature here when we get stopped up at the place that I'm going to do some filming. That is really cool, just to have the tailgate drop down like that. That's slick. It's got the step coming out of the tailgate. A lot of you probably know that, but I mean, that's a feature that I think is going to be huge, especially on this truck because of its ride height being the Raptor. That's almost invaluable, I think. I mean, that's a very, very nice thing that I think a lot of people enjoy. This truck is worth every penny. Maybe not to me, because I'm just not as much of a truck guy, but I'm telling you right now, if I was looking for a truck and 70-ish grand was my price range, I think this is the truck I'd buy. I really do. I am super impressed with this truck. This is, man, don't tell my Chevy friends, but I love this thing. We're going to wrap it up, but before I do that, I want to give you guys a real quick idea of what the acceleration's like in this truck. So we're going to shut the air conditioning off. We're going to get it out on a surface that's decent. We're going to get on the brake and the gas a little to get a little bit of turbo up without spinning the tires. Get the turbo spooling a little. Here we go. There you go. I don't know what the time was, obviously, because I can't see it, but I'm pretty confident that that's going to be pretty dang fast for a truck. Yeah, I would have a hard time believing anybody drives this truck and is underwhelmed with the performance. I mean, this thing is above and beyond what I expected from this truck in every way. Aside from you know, freeway speed, real, you know, if you go over like a bridge embankment or something and hit a real good bump, you do feel the squishiness of the suspension in that situation, and it might move around on you a little bit. You're probably not going to take this into real big sweeping turns at real high speeds, but again, that's not what the truck's built for. You know, it's purpose built, and it's built to be a Baja style truck. It's built to be off-roaded. It's built to be used. So for what they built this truck for, it is money. I don't like the auto start stop. The whole truck shakes when it auto starts and auto stops, so I found out that I just hated that and I never used it. I always shut it off. The exhaust note doesn't sound like a truck, but who cares? I mean, you're not listening to the exhaust when this thing's ripping through all 10 gears, because this thing flies. Everything else in this truck's amazing. 450 horse, 510 foot-pounds of torque, the 10-speed automatic. This truck is faster than most cars. It'll do anything you need it to do. Pull boats, pull trailers, take you down a freaking Baja dirt trail. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could go climb rocks. I mean, this thing's amazing. It's got a mode for sand, snow, mud, rock, everything. I mean, this truck is amazing. Ford outdid themselves. This truck is worth every penny. If you're in the market and you're going to spend this kind of money, I would say absolutely go buy this truck. Thank you so much, Hacky Motors, for letting me borrow this truck for the day. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Hey, be sure to hit the like button over here and the subscribe button over there. I'd love to see you guys coming back, and if you liked it, please hit the like so YouTube knows you like it and they recommend it to more people. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for riding with me, Jared. RedRacer video. We'll catch you guys on the next one.